Hello friends, it's Alexis and welcome to another round of TBR Pop. If you're new here, I will have the first TBR Pop video linked below in case you want to check out all of the rules, but it's honestly pretty self-explanatory. If you've ever played those carnival games where you throw a dart at a balloon, that's what we do here, and that's just how I build my TBR every month. So of course today we will be throwing to determine what my March TBR is going to be. So besides that, the only other thing you need to know for March is the readathon I'm participating in, and of course for the second year in a row I will be participating in Realmathon hosted by Covers with Cassidy. I will have Cassidy's video linked below explaining the rules of the readathon, but basically it's team based, and for every book you read you can apply up to 5 prompts to either get points for your team or to take points away from another team. So if you're familiar with my channel at all, I bet you could have guessed that of course I'm joining Team Ravens. So super excited to be participating again this year and hopefully get my team lots of points with the books we add to the TBR today. I did take prompts from the readathon and I wrote them on the balloons on the board this month. That way I would have a little bit of an easier time building a TBR that would also work for the readathon. So you'll see when we get started, and of course if any specific Realmathon prompts pop up, I will let you know that they are applying to the readathon. Alright, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about, so let's get right into the game. Alright, I don't know why I'm nervous, but here we go. Throw number 1. Short chapters. Okay, I feel like this is a sign that the board is going to be very nice to us this month because our first prompt, short chapters, is one of the best ones in my opinion. I love a book with short chapters. It just really makes you feel like you're flying through it. I'm very excited to get this on the TBR this early because this is the Full Moon Book Club pick for the month of March, and that is Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I've been interested in this ever since I saw the cover. I mean, look at it. Sorry for the glare, it's a library copy, so it does have the plasticky stuff on it, but like, oh my god, what a stunning cover. But wait, look at the back. Like, excuse me? I want this printed out and framed on my wall. So I'm hoping the inside contents are as gorgeous as the outside. I know this is a YA fantasy horror. It's about a high school senior named Andrew. He finds refuge in twisted fairy tales that he writes for the only person who can ground him to reality, Thomas Rye, boy with perpetual ink-stained hands and hair like autumn leaves, and with his twin sister Dove inexplicably keeping him at a cold distance upon their return to Wickwood Academy. Andrew finds himself leaning on his friend even more. But something strange is going on with Thomas. His abusive parents have mysteriously vanished and he arrives at school with blood on his sleeve. Thomas won't say a word about it and shuts down whenever Andrew tries to ask him questions. Stranger still, Thomas is haunted by something and he seems to have lost interest in his artwork. Whimsically macabre sketches of the monsters from Andrew's wicked story. Desperate to figure out what's wrong with his friend, Andrew follows Thomas into the off-limits forest one night and catches him fighting a nightmarish monster. Thomas's drawings have come to life and are killing anyone close to him. To make sure no one else dies, the boys battle the monsters every night, but as their obsession with each other grows stronger, so do the monsters, and Andrew begins to fear that the only way to stop the creatures might be to destroy their creator. So on top of this super intriguing synopsis, it's also queer. Like, sign me up. I'm in. I'm so excited to love this one. So the prompt I'm using this for is not a Realmathon prompt, but I do want to list off things it could possibly work for and what I will probably use it for. So I made a little list of all of the prompts, both positive and negative, this could count for. And I did this for all of the books I'm hoping to read in March because I'm an overachiever and I like to be prepared. So I thought I would just read them off to you really quick. So first of all, this is the perfect book if you're on Team Ravens like I am, because this counts for both of our bonus prompts. So number 1, a book you found on a list. I mean, I feel like a book club list, like the Full Moon Book Club, would count for this, but if that's stretching it a little far, I understand, but it definitely counts for number 2, which is a book with a character hiding a secret. And then going down to just the basic positive points that any team can submit for, this could count for the prompt to recover in the infirmary. The is in the title, but not the first word. I would consider this good for recruit a new pledge. It's new to my TBR. There are a few, of course, where I won't know until I start reading it if it counts, so it might have multiple points of view. It might have a wealthy character. It might have a favorite favorite trope of mine. I feel like there's a good chance it could count for Create a Fake ID, a book with a morally gray character. Possibly Win a Street Race, a fast-paced read with the short chapters. Write a Policy, it has an even number of letters in the title. Strength in Numbers, it's a book with sibling characters. And then moving on to the negative points, which again, you can only submit for all positive or all negative points. But after I read it, I usually like to do the math and figure out which one would get me more points, and then that's how I know if I want to submit positive or negatives. So, for the negative prompts it could count for, plan a coup, a 5-star prediction, tap the phones, listen to an audiobook. I'm going to try to get the audiobook for this one. B&E, author uses initials, and possibly if my prediction is correct, plan evidence, a 5-star read. All right, dart number 2. I'm all over that blue one. Yeah! Prompt number 2, color wheel cover. Okay, this next one is fun, but it's making me a little nervous. This, of course, is a random color wheel, picks what I read, or at least picks the color of the book that I read. So this is going to require me looking up and spinning a color wheel on my phone. Okay. I am screen recording. Do we feel like this is a good mix of colors? Do I have any gold books? Let's hope gold doesn't pop up. I think I have everything else. Okay, let's just put our faith in the color wheel gods and let's spin. Okay, a red book. I feel like I have a red book. I hope. One moment while I look. Okay, I'm actually so excited because this lines up perfectly with what I'm planning to read in March, and that is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. Yes, I, like many people I'm sure, are very excited about the newest Hunger Games book that is coming out in March, so I'm doing a little reread of the series. I have not read these since high school, and I've never reread them, so I'm super excited. My obsession for the Hunger Games back in the days was bad. I went to the midnight showings of all of the movies. I dressed up. I had a cardboard cutout of Josh Hutcherson as Peeta Mellark in my bedroom. Technically, the cutout was my sister's and we shared a room, but it still stands. Yeah, fun times, and I honestly can't wait to like get back into this story and relive all of those emotions. And I feel like this is a story that's just gonna hit even harder as an adult now. So I'm really, really excited to do my first reread of this. So this book, of course, is the second book in the Hunger Games series. It's a dystopian YA book. I really feel like this is a book series everybody has at least heard of, so I'm not gonna give a super full detailed synopsis. And yeah, this is just such an incredible book. Such incredible characters. It made me love reading. It truly is what like made me who I am today. So I can't wait to be back in this world and reading it from a new adult perspective this time. Dart number 3. I'm so good at this. The in the title, not the first word. Okay, this one is super exciting. It is our first specifically Realmathon prompt, and I know I already have a book that fits this, but I have a second book I want to read this month that also fits it. So for this balloon, I will be reading Someone in the Attic by Andrea Mara. This could also count for a bunch of other prompts, so I will pop them up on the screen instead of reading them all off to you. But this is a very interesting book. I have seen nothing but bad reviews about this book, and I truly just need to know what's going on. I need to see for myself if it is as bad as everybody says it is. Because truly, everybody I follow on Goodreads has not given this higher than 2 stars. And not for anything else, if it is really that bad, I'm so ready to just laugh at how horrible this is. The premise for this book actually sounds really good. It's about a man hiding in a woman's attic and coming down to try to kill her, which I don't know if you've seen those true crime stories where people have literally found out other people have been living in their attic without them knowing for like months, and like they set up cameras to catch them coming down where they're like at work. Like I would simply pass away if I found out somebody was living in my attic. So this one starts out where Anya is enjoying a relaxing bath at home when she hears a noise coming from her ceiling. Through the open bathroom door, she sees the attic hatch swing down and a masked figure drop to the floor. 30 seconds later, Anya is dead. Across town, Anya's old school friend Julia sees an online video of a masked figure climbing out of an attic. She suddenly realizes why the footage is eerily familiar. It was filmed inside of her own house in a luxury gated community designed to keep intruders out. Like, I have chills. Are you kidding? Could you imagine? Could you imagine just scrolling on your phone one day and suddenly your house is on the internet? Just deceased the second I saw that. So I'm hoping I have the unpopular opinion here and I like this one, but hopes are not high. Number 4. A 2-word title. So this is one of the prompts that counts for negative points to attack one of the other teams in the readathon. And this prompt is stakeout. Read a book with a 2-word title. For this one, I'm super excited to be getting to this finally. It's been on my TBR for like a year since I got this beautiful, stunning edition from Evernight. Murder Road by Simone St. James. Like, look at this cover! But wait, it gets better. The back, the edges, and then look at how pretty this is. I have to be honest here. If I did not have this beautiful, stunning edition from Evernight, I don't know if I would be reading this book. I really, really love Simone St. James's backlist. Like the year I read The Sundown Motel, it was on my favorite books of the year. But then I read the Book of Cold Cases and I hated it so much. That book took me so long to get through. So I'm really hoping that I like this one more. Unfortunately, the reviews aren't great. But again, maybe I'll have the complete unpopular opinion and I'll love this one. So just like the last book, this sounds super interesting and sounds like something I'll be into. This one is about April and Eddie. They've taken a wrong turn and now they're on a long dark road late at night when they see a woman up ahead, clearly in trouble. They stop and pick her up. It's only once she's in the car that they see the blood, and then the headlights appear in the distance, racing towards them at a speed, and at long last the woman speaks. "I'm sorry, he's coming." While April and Eddie are able to escape this time, their terrifying adventure is only just beginning. The hitchhiker's injuries prove fatal and the couple are trapped in the small town of Cold Lake Falls, prime suspects in the eyes of the local police. But to get out of town, April and Eddie are going to have to drive down that haunted stretch of road one more time. Super dramatic, but I'm hoping this one's a fun time. Dart number 5. Dude, I got it. It only took me 3 months, but I got this game now. More than one point of view. Okay, so I'm a little stuck on this one. I don't know if I have anything that's multiple points of view. So I have to do some looking around and try to find something. Okay, we're back and I think I found the perfect book. Based on what I can see in the Libby app, the chapters do appear to switch between points of view. Chapter 1 is labeled Rodrigo, chapter 2 is Mila, and it looks like, oh, there's chapters from a Cassandra's perspective. So, okay. I think this is going to be a good one, and it's also a book club pick. And this, of course, is going to be You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Pliego. So this one is the March book for the Literally Dead book club, which I try to participate in every single month. And this is a new thriller that I don't know too much about. It came out February 11th of 2025, but it sounds like something I'm gonna love. This one is all about a writer's retreat hosted on a private island that turns lethal when one of the authors is found murdered in this twisty, locked room mystery. When renowned anonymous author J.R. Alistair hires former aspiring writer Mila to host a writing retreat at his private manor off the coast of Maine, she jumps at the chance. She has an axe to grind with one of the invitees. The guest list, 6 thriller authors, all masters of deceit, misdirection, and mayhem. With a storm cutting off the island and the body count rising, Mila must outwit a killer who knows literally every trick in the book until only one of us remains. This sounds like it's going to be a really fun time, and I love thrillers that have to do with authors. It's reminded me a lot of The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz, which was a 5-star read, so I'm super intrigued for this one. Dart number 6. That was brave. That's the closest I've ever aimed towards the wall. A mood read. Okay, this is a really good one, but of course, I'm not much of a mood reader, hence the TBR that I make every single month. So I am sort of gonna pick a book for this right now, but it's because I'm in the mood to read them this month. So yeah, I know it kind of defeats the purpose of getting like a free space prompt, but whatever, it's my game. For my mood read of the month, I'm giving myself 3 options of books that I'm planning on reading anyways, and that of course is the rest of the Hunger Games series. I have book 1, The Hunger Games. Book 2, Catching Fire, is already on the TBR, as we know. So I have book 3, Mockingjay. And then I have the 4th book that came out, but it actually takes place before the first Hunger Games book, and I've never read it or seen the movie, so like I'm going in blind. I know this one has to do with President Snow. I think he was a mentor for like one of the very first Hunger Games, and I think he falls in love with a tribute. I was never really interested in reading this one because it's about President Snow and like I don't care about him, but I know people really like the movie. Plus with the new one coming out being Haymitch's story, like I absolutely have to read the Quarter Quell book, and I don't want to go into that one without reading everything that came before it, so it's finally time to give this one a try. Okay, and dart number 7, which is going to be our last one. Let's make it a good one. I'm nervous. I don't know where to aim. Let's go for the yellow in the bottom left corner. Nope. Yes! A 5-star prediction. Yay, we got one more Realmathon prompt for our last balloon. Of course, that is going to be a 5-star prediction. So I know I have a lot in the TBR already that could count for this, but there is a book I really want to get on here this month, so I'm going to use it for this one. This is a book off of my 12 Recs by 12 Friends list, and the movie is coming out in the first week of March. So that, of course, is going to be Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton. So yeah, I don't know about you, but the second I saw that Bong Joon-ho was coming out with another movie and Robert Pattinson was starring in it, I already have my tickets purchased for opening night of the movie. I am so excited, and of course, I'm one of those people who has to read the book first. I do truly think this is one I'm going to love. All of my friends on Goodreads have rated it super high, and it really seems like it's going to match the type of sci-fi books that I've enjoyed in the past. So this one is all about a man named Mickey who is a clone. So his job title is that he's an expendable, which is a human clone utilized for dangerous work on space exploration missions. An expendable's personality and memories may be transferred intact to a new body if their current host died. Mickey Barnes is an expendable, now on his 7th iteration living and dying among his fellow colonists on the near uninhabitable ice world. Some consider him immortal, others believe he's a soulless monstrosity. For the past 9 years, he has been deployed for hazardous assignments and subjected to experiments that test the limits of human endurance. His humanity sacrificed for the greater good. While on reconnaissance, Mickey 7 is injured and left for dead, only to be saved by the planet's native species. When he returns to the base, he meets his next generation, Mickey 8. Neither clone is willing to recycle himself, but if anyone discovers multiple Mickeys exist, they'll both be executed and there won't ever be a Mickey 9. This one sounds super fun, but at the same time, like it's gonna bring up a lot of very important topics about morality and how people are treated. Plus, this is actually one that was recommended to me by my partner Dan, so he's been bugging me for months to read it because he also really loved it. Okay, this doesn't look too scary until you consider the books that I don't own. I tried to be good this month, only throwing for 7 prompts, and yeah, I just can't control myself when it comes to making a TBR. But that is it, friends. That is the TBR for the month. I'm gonna put this down. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know below if you're participating in Realmathon and what team you're gonna be on. Obviously, I recommend joining Team Ravens with me. And then what should we make our emoji of the video? If you would like to leave me an emoji below, I think we have to go with something space related for Mickey 7/Mickey 17. So you pick whatever your favorite spacey emoji is. But I hope you read a good book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye.